Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Thursday, July 26th, and we have UFC On Fox 30 coming up this weekend from Alberta, Canada. Now, of course, regular viewers know that normally I do these calls with these previews with Andreas Hale, but Andreas Hale couldn't make it this week, so we're going to do a very special video production right now featuring two of the most illustrious MMA handicappers from the comment section of the Loshak and the Bag Show. Regular viewers of the Loshak and the Bag Show that we do twice a day, 12 o'clock Eastern Time and 6 o'clock Eastern Time, are very, very, very familiar with the two commenters who are going to be joining us via Skype video, showing their face and everything, breaking down the main card and the preliminary fights from UFC On Fox 30. Welcome, Bill Buttlicker, commenter from the Loshak and the Bag Show. And of course, welcome Cliff, also known as Annie Marak from the Loshak and the Bag Show comment section. Thanks so much, guys, for doing this. Are you guys psyched and happy to be doing this with me?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing like discussing UFC fights with people that are passionate about the game, especially somebody like Clint. Clint knows his stuff. Tell him what's good, man. Tell him, is this not a stacked card, my man?
This is a hell of a stacked card. This card is crazy to be on free TV. I don't know how they're doing it. I love it. And I've never been called illustrious before, so I like that.
Yeah, well, no, you are definitely illustrious. And people, that's not just my opinion. That's fact, because I do have some proof here, evidence of Annie Marak's MMA handicapping skills. Of course, recently Annie Marak started sending us in his breakdowns of the MMA cards, and of course, putting his professional reputation or semi-professional reputation on the line with official picks. And so far, Annie Marak has hit us up with 36 picks total. His official record, you might not know what it is, Annie Marak, but I have definitely been keeping track. 19-17, average line of plus 105. That's positive 5.7 units, an ROI of plus 12.5%.
I didn't realize it was quite that good. Thank you, Pete.
It is. It absolutely is. That is Annie Marak's official record on the official picks that he's given us, and I think he's going to give us some others in today's video, of course. All right, so I'm very excited to be doing this, guys, and you're right. This is not one of those cards with a bunch of people, no names, and people who people aren't too excited about. Three huge, awesome fights on the main card: Alvarez and Poirier. Then, of course, Jose Aldo. What's up with him? I'll be very interested to see what you guys have to say about that one. And then, of course, Joanna Champion against Tecia Torres. Let's just start out with Alvarez against Poirier. Of course, these guys fought recently. It was a controversial finish. Poirier was seemingly cruising to a win. He had him beat. Alvarez, though, very, very tough to beat. Very, very tough to finish. He takes a lot of punishment, but it's so hard. He's constantly coming back in his career, in fights. He's just a durable guy. It's hard to get this guy down. Right now, Poirier is about the favorite at about minus 160 or so, which makes sense. Feels like Poirier would be a bet, maybe even as this big of a favorite. But again, it's just hard to bet against Alvarez, considering how durable he is, how tough he is, and how you can just never count him out. That's my take on this fight. My sense is probably I would take a shot with Poirier. Let's start with you, Bill Buttlicker. What do you agree with or disagree with of all the things I just said?
I do agree with you. I think it's Dustin Poirier's fight to lose. And the reason why I say that is because I'm also a fan of playing daily fantasy sports. And while I was on the DraftKings page, I noticed that through 2 rounds, Dustin Poirier had landed about 75, 77 significant strikes in 2 rounds. They're scheduled to go 5.
Yeah.
I did the math. That averages about 36 point and a half. I don't want to bet against that. I really think he almost hit the second round. And although I think Eddie have a much smarter approach, I think he's going to try to grind him out. Go and try to swing Vinegar style, just try to get into a brawl, because he's going to get picked apart. But I saw a line that I believe was Dustin Poirier by decision at around like plus 500.
This fight is obviously, there's expected to be a finish here. Both these fighters, are known for their violent finishes. And the fight not going the distance is a minus 380. The fight going the distance is plus 260. And Poirier to win by decision right now, plus 515 at 5 dimes. You think that has some value?
I do, because Alvarez found out last fight that he doesn't want to go in there and strike with him because he was losing the striking battle. He almost got knocked out. And the reason why he was in the fight Poirier decided to fall with him along the fence. That's where he got caught. That's where Eddie's best, when he's a caged animal against the fence. And he just starts swinging from the hip, fighting for his life. And that's exactly what Dustin gave him. I think Dustin got smart. He showed it in the last Gaethje fight that he knows how to approach this tactical mind and not go into. Got lucky that but there was a contest because he got close to taken out by Eddie Alvarez. I'm not putting him out. But I think the smart and safe play is to play the juice with Dustin Poirier, and I think that's what I'm going to do.
All right, an interesting analysis there from Bill Butler. He might actually have something, because I was definitely, leading Poirier here, and yes, he is definitely improving. He obviously he knows he has a technique to overcome Alvarez, but my reason for not wanting a bet against Alvarez is just he's so hard to put away. So maybe at plus 515 at 5 dimes right now, Poirier by decision might actually have some value. Again, this is scheduled to go 5 rounds. The market strongly expecting a finish, but the market might be a little bit wrong here. Andy Marak, what do you think?
Well, my man Bill broke it down really, really well. He brought up some great points. I don't have too much more to add to everything he put in there. What I'd like to know, Pete, what's the over-under sitting at? Is it 1.5 or 2.5?
Let me see. Hold on. I do have that right now here at SBR Odds. The totals are not out market-wide at all, but there are some sites that have it. And actually, right now, all I'm seeing is Bet365 with a total. BetOnline has totals for the other 3 fights, but not for this one. Only Bet365 has a total here. 2.5, the over plus 110, under minus 138.
Okay, that's pretty close. So, I don't think there's any value with either of these fighters winning by decision. There is no way this fight goes 5 rounds. However, taking a poke on the over, if you're going to get a dog line, if you're going to get plus 130, 150, something like that on an over 2.5, I do think that might be worth a shot, because Dustin Poirier is a much more technical striker. He learned how to slow it down. He learned how to hurt his opponent and then wait for his shot instead of rushing it and trying to finish it. And he showed that in the Justin Gaethje fight, and they both have Justin Gaethje as a previous opponent. One of them got into a war and about got his legs wobbled and knocked out himself. Dustin Poirier, on the other hand, took it slow, hurt him, and picked him apart, and then put him away. I think he's going to give the same exact game plan in this fight. I think Dustin Poirier wins it, and if you can get a good dog line on over 2.5, I'd take that.
Yeah, Poirier inside the distance, minus 115. Before we move on to the other fight, let's quickly go back to Bill Butlicker. Bill Butlicker, Andy Marak says there's no way that this fight goes a distance. So if there's literally a 0% chance that the fight goes a distance, then Poirier by decision is not a good bet, even at plus 500. What do you think? There's no way this fight goes to the cards, or there is a slight chance, Bill Butlicker?
No, I'm gonna say no, because I really, every time I think about that, I go back to the amount of significant strikes that Dustin Poirier was able to land through 2 rounds. Even, let's say, take away 10 significant strikes from each round, he's still going to end up landing well over 120, 130 significant strikes. Eddie Alvarez might get to maybe 9. But Dustin Poirier is not that hittable. So, no, I just don't think. I think Dustin Poirier is going to finish him off.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Poirier is the side here. I will make that one an official pick. Looking at SBR Odds right now at UWager, minus 155 for Poirier is the best line right now. I'll throw that one onto my record. I'll make an official pick. Andy Marak, you want to make any official picks on this one?
Yeah, let's go Dustin Poirier, official pick. And I'd like to lean the over 2.5. There's no line out, so I can't make it official at this point. But that's definitely a lean.
Well, no, you can, because Bet365 has 2.5 plus 110, and we can give you that one as an official pick if you want to.
Okay, yeah, I'll take both those.
All right, Clint is on Poirier and the over at 2.5 plus 110. Bet365. I'm on Poirier as well. And Bill Butlicker, you want to make an official play here?
Yes, sir. I'll take Dustin Poirier, Dustin the Diamond. And you know why? Because I saw in an interview that he said his hair is salon quality. That's the man I want to put my money on.
There you go. Thank you so much, Bill Butlicker. Now let's move on to Jose Aldo against Jeremy Stephens. Here we might have some disagreement, because the big question is What's up with Jose Aldo right now? Is his skill set still as elite as it ever was? Of course, at a time, Jose Aldo looked absolutely unbeatable by anyone. He's lost 3 of his last 4, but the last 2, of course, were to Holloway. So maybe you give him a little bit of a pass for that one. Jeremy Stephens, obviously very dangerous, talking a great game before this fight that he's going to take his soul, he's going to knock him out, this and that, and finish him. Aldo is also talking about how he's not going to sign a new contract, so he has his retirement pending. That's got to be in his head, although he says that's a benefit. Of course, Aldo's been fighting forever. He's still not that old. He's only 31. Stephens is actually 1 year older. Right now, Aldo is the small favorite here, and the big question is Aldo in decline, or did he just run into a juggernaut in 2 fights against Holloway, and he's actually a lot closer to the level we saw from him when he was in his elite form. He's only a small favorite here, -120 at Pinnacle. Anna Marak, what do you think? Is Aldo in decline, or does he have value here getting disrespected by this near pick'em line?
Aldo is definitely in decline. The second retirement pops into your head, it's over when you're a fighter. We see it all the time. The fighters are the last ones to know when they're shot. Jose Aldo is definitely the more skilled fighter out of these 2 guys. However, Jeremy Stephens has been making constant improvements. And when you take a look at their fight lifetimes, Aldo is way older than Jeremy Stephens is. The damage that he took from Conor McGregor and then those 2 fights with Max Holloway, those are going to wear on him. He bounced back from the Conor McGregor fight, showed us that he's a champion when he fought Frankie Edgar, and that was really impressive. But those back-to-back losses with Max Holloway have taken a toll on him. And if he's talking about not signing because he might be retiring, he's got 1 foot out the door already. And someone like Jeremy Stephens, this dude is mean. He calls himself the hardest puncher in the division, and I think he's right. Even though it's a 3-round fight, I think if Aldo's slowed down just a fraction, Stephens will catch him. I like Jeremy Stephens.
You like Stephens, okay, as an underdog at +110. Yeah, I mean, Aldo, you're right. There's so many times that fighters, don't know when to retire, but usually those are guys in their late 30s, maybe 40, in their early 40s. Aldo, again, just 31 years old, as you said. He did look like he was wearing down in his and taking a lot of punishment in his last few fights, but he's still only 31 years old. Bill Buttlicker, what do you think? Do you think Aldo is done, or do you think that we just have a recency bias from his losses against Holloway for thinking that?
Although I agree with Clint's analysis, I wouldn't say that Aldo is shot as in 1 punch and he's done, but he's most definitely on the decline. He had his time. He was the king. Max Holloway showed the blueprint on how to beat this guy. I don't think Jeremy Stephens just going to go in like a wild man, trying to knock his head off. He used to do that, but now he's been talking of how he let go of everything, and he let Eric Del Fiero, his coach, show him what he has to do, when he has to do it, and how he has to do it. He was talking in an interview with Matt Serra on UFC, their podcast, of how he has everything calculated with his coach. He can't even believe it himself, as his coach tells him, this is what you got to do. Trust me, go out and do it. And that was what he says has been given his career a 180 and has made him skyrocket almost to the top of the division. That's why he's fighting former champion. And I saw them standing face to face today, the face-offs, and I thought that Jeremy Stephens was just going to be just a couple inches shorter than Aldo, and he's not. He's actually taller. So after seeing that, there's no way I can lay any sort of money with the Jose Aldo in decline. Love him. I used to watch him all the time, but his time has passed.
Wow, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, Stephens obviously has become a much more skilled and a strategic fighter. He's now, combining his shots instead of going for the one-shot kill. And I'm wondering if this fight, because of course this is the first time that Aldo's had to prepare for a 3-round fight as opposed to a 5-round fight since I think 2009. And I'm wondering if maybe this might be worth a shot on the fight going the full 3 rounds at just about -145 or -165 or so. Of course, if you listen to Stephens talk, he's talking about, he doesn't outpoint anyone. He knocks him out. That, of course, has been his MO his entire career. But going up against an elite fighter like Aldo, and with his, new, more strategic, fight plans that we've seen from him that he's had such great success with, maybe this is worth a shot on the fight going the distance. Andy Marak, what do you think? Do you think if Stephens wins, it's definitely inside the distance, or do you think there's a chance that we could see this go to the cards?
No, I think there's a good chance that we could see this go into the cards. Even when Jose Aldo fought Max Holloway, they took it just over that 2.5 rounds. It almost went the distance in that fight. I think Stephens can piece him up, especially if he catches him and gets a knockdown but doesn't put him away. He can win rounds that way. I'm going to take Jeremy Stephens straight because as much as I think he might knock Jose Aldo out with a weakened chin, I don't want to miss out if he manages to win this thing by decision.
Yeah. I mean, Stephens by decision is plus 420. Aldo by decision.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's a big line.
Yeah, Stephens by 3-round decision is plus 420. Stephens inside the distance is plus 200. So the market, of course, expecting that if Stephens wins, it happens inside the distance because the market is expecting, it is a favorite, the fight going the distance. The fight going the distance right now at 5 dimes is minus 165. Fight not going the distance is plus 125. So the market is expecting this fight to go the distance, but expecting that if Stephens wins, it happens inside the distance and not by decision. So the market is telling us, what is likely to happen here, based on who wins. Bill Buttlicker, do you want to make an official pick on this one?
I do. I'm gonna take Jeremy Stephens to win. Just, I really think he can knock him out in the second round because he did the same thing to Doo-Ho Choi, and I can't remember the other one was before that. I know he can do it, but I don't know if he's going to want to push and risk if he's going to be up 2 pounds. And I might just find this out. He knows if he gets the win overall, he's top of the division and likely fight Brian Ortega next if Max doesn't come back. So I'm just going to take him on the money line. I trust in him.
Okay, I'm going to hold off on making an official pick here. I'm definitely, at these odds, actually leaning Aldo, but I have to think about it a little bit more. And I'm definitely also leaning to the fight going the distance, which obviously the market agrees would be correlated. If Aldo wins, it's probably, if it goes the distance, that favors Aldo. But right now, Clint and Bill are just going to take Stephens at plus 110. I'm going to hold off right now, but again, leaning Aldo at minus 120 and leaning the fight going the distance at minus 165. All right, we could talk about this for hours, but let's move on. Joanna Champion against Tecia Torres. Obviously, Champion is looking to revive her career and get a big win here. She is the big favorite, just shy of minus 300. Tecia Torres, maybe she's peaked. She doesn't really get finishes, so maybe she's getting overlooked a little bit because. She doesn't get finishes and she hasn't looked that great or that dominant in her recent fights. But, Torres has also only lost twice in her professional career, and one of them was to Namajunas. Of course, Champion got beat both times by Rose. But it's not like Joanna has been losing to inferior fighters. So maybe, Torres is losing to inferior fighters. So maybe Torres at about plus 250 or so has some value. Bill Buttlicker, what do you think?
Pete, to be honest with you, I was leaning Tecia Torres because I know she can win this fight. I'm not saying she's going to, but I know she has the skill to do it. Now, the reason why I won't is because one of my friends, Cody Safdie, brought up that Tecia Torres used to train at American Top Team, where Joanna is now. She was there for the longest time, for years and years. Those people, those coaches, those fighters know every single thing about Tecia Torres, about her technique, what she eats, all her habits, everything. So I think Joanna not just only has the technical advantage in the striking, Muay Thai striking at least, but I think the information they have in her camp is going to edge her out of decision. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, this fight seems to have Joanna by decision written all over it, which is right now at about minus 150. And of course, Torres, as we know, when she wins, she wins by decision. And I'm thinking that this fight also has just the fight going to the cards written all over it as far as value is concerned, even at the current line of minus 320 at 5 dimes. So I'm definitely strongly leaning the fight going to distance at minus 320 and Joanna by decision at minus 150. 150. Adam Arak, what do you think?
Give me Joanna by decision at minus 150. I feel like that's printing money. Shout out to the people over at the Dogger Pass podcast, Cody Zaftik. I love that show. Joanna picks fighters like Tecia Torres apart. She's a slow, plodding, strong type of fighter, and she's very good. Don't get me wrong. But Joanna is not like Francis Ngannou. She's not going to come out scared. She's not going to be shook after her last losses. She's going to bounce back. She's going to come back hard. She's going to stick and move, and she's going to win a decision like she always does. She doesn't hit hard enough to put anybody away. Torres is a super, super strong and tough girl. She's not going to go down. I definitely see this fight going the distance, and I definitely see Joanna winning a convincing decision.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to make those two picks official for myself as well. Joanna by decision at minus 150, and the fight going the distance is minus 320. Very, very treacherous to take those kinds of favorites in MMA, especially women's MMA championship fights. Expect the unexpected. But I think, if there is a finish, I'll be okay. I'll be annoyed, but I'll be okay with eating 3.25 units of losses. So I'm going to take the fight going the distance at minus 320 and Joanna by decision at minus 150. Adam Arak has given Joanna by decision at minus 150 as an official play. And Bill, do you have an official play? I didn't catch your official pick here.
Oh yeah, that Joanna by decision. I can't not take it.
Okay, all right. So we're all on Joanna by decision, currently at minus 150 at 5 dimes. And then the fourth fight on the main card, Alexander Hernandez against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. What do you think, Adam Arak? Any leans here? This is interesting. I feel like Olivier is a little bit more proven and seasoned. He's the small favorite, but I'm not sure if there is an edge here. Although, they're both tough to finish. They are both finishers, but they're also both tough to finish. So I'm thinking maybe, once again, the fight going the distance at about minus 145 or so might be the way to go. What do you think, Clint?
Give me Hernandez. Hernandez showed up for his UFC debut against Beneil Dariush, who is a very, very strong and proven fighter. He wrecked him in 42 seconds. You're not going to get dog money on this kid going forward. I want Hernandez. Wow. Hernandez, that was a clear and strong opinion. Hernandez right now the line has actually moved significantly in his favor. He was about plus 115 a few days ago. Now, the best line would be just plus 100 at UWager Bet 365 and a few other places, but he's close to, close to being a favorite at some places. Not quite a favorite yet, but the best line, Hernandez, plus 100. Bill Buttlicker, what do you think?
I agree with Clint. I was initially thinking, Aubin-Mercier by submission. I'm sorry, but after more analysis, I think I'm gonna have to take the younger, faster, fitter, stronger up and comer.
Wow. Younger, faster, stronger, bigger, up and comer. How can you go against that? Well, what are the arguments against him? What do you think? I mean, why should he not? The market is definitely moving in his favor. Why should he not be a bigger favorite here?
Well, he can get caught in his submission. Okay. The reason is I believe Aubin-Mercier, if he's going to win this fight, he has to try to take down Hernandez. And the thing is, I think Hernandez is a good enough wrestler to not let that happen. So the thing is, if Alexander tries to start taking Aubin-Mercier down, he might get caught in a guillotine, with his head caught on the side, or he might get caught in anything, because Aubin-Mercier definitely has the skill to win this fight. But I think that Hernandez is just a tiny bit quicker, and he might get to his chin before he even realizes.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm going to pass on that fight. Once again, to review the official picks that we've all given on the main card, all three of us liking Poirier at minus 155. Both Bill and Clint are taking Jeremy Stephens at plus 110. I'm going to pass on that one for now. I admit I am a little bit leaning Aldo here and leaning the over. We are also all taking Joanna by decision at minus 150, and I'm also throwing on the fight going the distance at minus 320. And, of course, both Clint and and Bill are taking Hernandez at plus 100. I'm going to pass on that one as well. Now, we'll just quickly wrap this up by going to some quick hitters from the preliminaries. We'll start with you, Adam Arak. What official picks would you like to add on to your official record here and recommend our viewers' tale from the preliminaries here?
So the last couple picks I've got for the undercard, I like Mean. He's been fighting as a pro since he was 16 years old. He took a lot of time off recently to let his body recover, which when you've been fighting for as long as he have, that's something that you've got to do. He's got the perfect opponent to match up with his skill set. I think he's ready for a bounce back. I think it's a pick-em line. I like Mean.
Okay, let me just, after each pick you give, I'll just quote the odds just so it's clear. Best line right now would be minus 110. Bet online, you wager in a few other places for Mean, minus 110. What else?
I'll take it. I also would like to take Antigulov. He's fighting my man, the Hulk, Ion Cutelaba. I actually am a huge fan of Ion Cutelaba, and I was hoping that he was going to be a bigger star when he got to the UFC. He's got crazy, vicious knockout power, and he was dropping everybody until he got to the UFC. But Jared Cannonier exposed him. The dude's got no ground game. And Antigulov has got a great gas tank and a ground game. He's going to take him down, wear him out, and potentially submit him late. I've got Antigulov.
All right, that line is getting bet up. It opened in the 130s. Now Pinnacle best line will be minus 152. What else do you have for us?
Makadesi, straight and simple. I'm fading Ross Pearson. He's old. He's done. I think Makadesi's got more in the tank, and Ross doesn't have much of a chin.
All right, that line is also getting bet up just a little bit. Best line right now, minus 165 at UWager. What else do you have for us?
My last pick that I'm going to give is Nicolou. He's fighting Ortiz. And I think Ortiz is just kind of a middle-of-the-road guy. He tends to alternate wins and losses and things like that. However, Nicolou's 13-1. I think the UFC is serving up an easy opponent for him.
Okay, that's interesting. The market has, I'm sure you've seen, money coming in on Ortiz. Ortiz opened at over plus 200. Now it's down into the plus 160s or 150s. And the best line on Nicolou would actually be minus 187 at Pinnacle. Does that line movement concern you?
No, it doesn't, because I think Ortiz tends to fight close. He tends to go to decision, lots of splits, things like that. He makes it a tough, gritty fight, lots of wrestling, and the judges get it wrong sometime. If you're getting plus 200 on a guy like that, a lot of people are licking their chops on that money.
All right.
I think Nicolou is going to beat him.
Okay, thanks so much, Adam Arak. And let's wrap it up. Bill, any fights on the preliminaries that interest you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to take that Zimurat Anchikulov by decision, by submission. I trust that he's going to put Cutelaba away. So, Clint, I agree with you on that pick. Another pick I like is, actually, I'm going to go with Dustin Ortiz to edge out a decision. I think he's going to grind harder than he's grinded anybody in his life. I think he's going to get this win. It's going to be close, but I'm definitely going to take Ortiz is a dog, isn't he? Yeah, I'll take that dog when he beats.
Okay, that's it. Just two official plays for you, Bill Buttlicker.
I'm going to also add Alex Herrera by knockout. I don't think Devin Powell's got anything. Not standing, not on the ground. I think he's just going to knock him out.
Okay, let me just find the odds for that one. Herrera, let me see. Let me just find it. Herrera inside the distance is plus 190. You like that line?
I love it.
All right, sounds great. Go ahead.
He's going to put him to sleep. Devin Powell is a human punching bag.
Okay, Herrera inside the distance, and that wraps up our coverage of UFC on Fox 30. Bill Buttlicker and Annie Marak, so thanks so much for doing this with us. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.